everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Jo. I am Belushi Stitches here on Flosstube and also over on Instagram. This is a channel about cross stitch. If you're new here, thank you very much for stopping by. I hope that you find something here that you enjoy. And if you're returning, thank you very much for coming back. If you do like what you see today, please hit the thumbs up below, and then also if you want to see more and you're not yet a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button below. So I've got a number of WIPs today to show you. WIPs are works in progress, so projects that I've started and not yet finished. Some of mine are more active than others. There are some that I plan to finish later on in the year, or maybe next year, and then some that I'm working on every day or every month, which I'm hoping to finish soon. So I will be trying to put everything that I talk about today in the description box below. If you do have any questions, please leave me a comment below, and also my email address should also be in the description box below. Alternatively, I am on Instagram at Belushi_stitches, and you're welcome to send me a message there. So let's go. So WIP number 1 is Adrift. This is a design by Selina Fenech. It is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. It's this one. And this is 400 by 754 stitches. This is the regular version. There is a mini available, and I talk more about this one on my most recent Flosstube number 11. This totals 229,600 stitches, and I absolutely love it. So I've got one of these Albc or LBC, I've heard different people pronounce it, seat stands. Which this bit goes sort of under your legs, under your thighs. And I just wrap all of the excess fabric around the outside and pin it round, and then I just work on it like this. Part of me is going to really regret this because it's a bit tricky to get the fabric back round. Actually what I'm doing is I'm stitching on it, and I can get a whole page in the hoop, which I think is a 10-inch hoop. And so I can get a whole page finish done before I move the hoop and move on to the next one. So I quite like that. It does minimise the amount. With the amount I'm stitching at the moment, I'm doing about a page every kind of 7 to 10 days, depending on how much detail there is in there. This particular piece is one that is my main focus, and I've created my own ridiculous challenge to finish this within the year. I was at 14% at the beginning of the year. I'm now at 34%, and I'm stitching on this one every single day. About 518 stitches per day at the moment, and hoping to finish this one then by the end of this year. And I've also just made up a hashtag, finish a HAED in a year maybe, and see how I get on with it. Things have moved on quite a lot even since my Flosstube, which I think went up about a week ago. This is where I am now. Obviously now I can't see what I'm showing you. There we go. Okay, I can see now. Here is where I am so far. I'm sorry if you can't hear me. If it's really, really bad, then I'm going to do a bit of a talk over it. So I'm stitching her on 18 count Ada. I might have gone quiet then when I was showing you. It might have been that I was either shouting or too far away, so I might have muted out the sound. I don't know till I get there. But if it went very, very quiet while I was showing you, that's why. I'm stitching that one on 18 count white Ada. I just love it. I absolutely love it. It goes between, there's a lot of block colour, and there's a lot of background, which is when it's made up of sort of 1 or 2 stitches. It's like every other stitch is one colour, which you stitch, and then you go back with the other colour and do the alternate ones. So there's a lot of either block stitching or one section, or kind of, I can't think of the right word, checked, like a chessboard, that kind of effect. which is fun on the first lot and then tricky on the second lot. The way that I stitch this one is for each page I do, I use Pattern Keeper, and so I click on the symbol with the most amount of stitches in that page, and I do that, and I gradually whittle it down until of 2 stitches here and 2 stitches up there, and I do that and I gradually get down to just purely the ninja stitches. So that's how I do that one. I'm at 34%. I absolutely love it. Now that I've shown it on Flosstube, I'm going to start putting it more on my Instagram, so if you do want to see more updates, please check out my Instagram account. WIP number 2 is Hello Petal by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. This was a pattern that was released last year, and myself and Emma X Stitching have decided to do this one as a stitch along, a SAL, and so we're stitching this for 4 months. We've split out the tree in 4 sections. We're now in the 3rd month. I'm afraid I haven't actually done Marches yet. I've still got time, but I've done 2 sections of the tree so far. I'm stitching this one on 16 count white Aida, using all the called for colours that came with the kit or the pattern. I think I bought the kit for this one. We have the hashtag Hello Petal, nice spring in your step. If you'd like to join us, please do. And this is where I am so far. So the trunk, the bird and the sheep and the grass, that was all section 1. And then the 2 daffodils and the mouse is section 2. There's a 3rd section we're going to come on to here, and that will have a rabbit, and then the top section we're not making any changes. We made a couple of changes to the mouse, we will be to the rabbit, and then also to the sheep in terms of the colour changes, and I talked more about that in my last Flosstube if you want more information about our kind of plans and our changes. WIP number 3 is Cryptids. Cryptids was a stitch along run by the Witchy Stitcher last year, and I think into this year as well. I have finished all the individual sections, and I just have the remainder of the frame to go. For me, the frame, the border, is the hardest part. It is really slow going, but I'm getting there. I'm stitching this one on 18 count manuscript from the fabrics from Lakeside Needlecraft. It's got writing going across as a manuscript. I'm not entirely sure how much you'll be able to see of that once this is framed, but I think it's very difficult to see in certain lights, and it's very difficult to see when you're a bit too up close. So I'm not sure how much I'll be able to see afterwards, but I'm hoping that you'll still be able to see the effect. This is where I am so far. So as you can see, I've finished the top border and all of the cryptids. I chose Bigfoot. In this particular one, you got to choose, this was the last one, you got to choose between 3 different cryptids. I chose Bigfoot for this one. I've stitched all the cryptids. There's a little bit of back stitch in most of them, tiny amounts. I just absolutely loved doing this one, and I did keep up with it really well until right at the end, and I think I realise now borders are for doing in advance. Because I don't want to do it now and I'm dragging my feet picking it up. I did this border as I was going, so whenever I stitched the individual smaller frames, I did this part of the border as well. I purposefully stopped doing the border at the bottom because I wanted to make sure that it lined up with the border on the other side. And now I've managed to work my way down, still going, a couple of these little crescent moons, and then eventually hopefully I'll get to this side and it should line up. Everything else is lined up. The good thing about this one is that when they sent out the last piece, you could download right at the end the whole thing, and so as I'm going down this border, I'm checking against these individual bits here to make sure that they actually match where I am across here, which is really important for me because I know what I'm like, and I know what I did on the other side as well. I was sort of stitching, and although this is really repetitive, it's really easy for me to go wrong. So at least when I get to here, I know that I'm, 5 stitches and 2 stitches across from the edge of this one, and I know I'm in the right place. So when I get to the bottom, there's no reason why it shouldn't line up. But yeah, this is where I am so far. I'm really close, really near. I don't know if you can see the writing. Probably a bit washing out quite a lot. You can kind of see the writing. Even putting it on with lots of different filters on it, you can't actually make out the wording, which is what I liked about that. But I'm hoping you might be able to still see a little bit once it's framed. See what happens. WIP number 4 is Under the Sea by Lakeside Needlecraft, and the pattern is by Doreen Jones. Just got a twitchy eye. The pattern is by Doreen Jones. This was released a couple of years ago. as a kit, which you can still buy on Lakeside Needlecraft in the UK. You can still buy the pattern, the printed and PDF pattern with the kits. And for any of you that watched my Flosstube number 11, the one I just put out, you will know, if you were looking up at the screen at that exact time, that this stitch along, is this one, is from 2017. I found it after I said I didn't know what the date was, and it was like clearly on the screen. Anyway, never mind. This, I'm doing this one with Emma from Emma X Stitching. We are going to be doing this as, well, we already are doing this as a sal. We're choosing the big motifs, one per month for the rest of the year, and then either later on in the year or next year we'll be going back and we'll be doing all the back stitch and all this kind of background, the background small motifs here. That's the plan. Kelly from Animal Stitches and Animal Instinct is also joining us. We're using the hashtag under the sea all year. So if you do want to join us, please use that hashtag. We can find you, tag us in anything. It'd be great to have more people along. I'll show you where I am now. So I've got January, February and March done. I'm using the called for fabric. It's 36 count. I think it's actually called Under the Sea from Lakeside Needlecraft, comes with the kit. And this is where I am so far. So I love this piece. I'm going to say that about all of them. You already know that, and I already know that. I love this piece, and because we're not doing the background at the moment, what we're doing is we're kind of bridging the gap. So this was February, but in order to get to here, it's really, really tricky counting, lots of chances of going wrong. So we've actually decided to kind of stitch the little motifs on the way to the next big motif. So there's the big submarine goes here, and I've kind of stitched these two as a way of getting to this one, just to make sure that my counting's right. It's small bits, but it all adds up. Yeah, this is fun, and I'm up to date with this one now. I was a bit behind for quite a while, and then I just caught up. This uses, I'm going to bring this in really close, I'm hoping you can see. This uses a metallic thread, hoping that's showing, yeah. And it's using, I can't remember what it is, E3849. And I thought that Krynic was horrendous. Krynic's like silk compared to this stuff. Honestly, I used Thread Magic, Thread Heaven, I used short lengths. I did it first before the actual DMC stitches. It was horrendous. So I've made the decision, I don't think I can even use it in any of the other bits. I think I'm just going to sub it out for whatever the colour is. Apologies, but I just can't. It probably took longer for me to do that and re-stitch some of it, because it separates, it pulls, it's awful, than it was to like stitch the rest of the fish. So I think I'm just gonna have to sub that one out going forward. So WIP number 5 is Halloween Candlesticks. This is another stitch along by Lakeside Needlecraft. The design is by Jenny Barton. This was released last year in 2021 as a 6-part stitch along. I kept up with it for the first couple of months, and then I made a bit of a change to something which I'll show you in a minute. And at the time I was studying for my exams, and I realised I loved this one so much, so I actually stopped stitching on it, and I haven't picked it up again yet. I'm really weird about some of this stuff, because if I get all the way through a TV series and I know I've only got 3 episodes left of 7 seasons of something, I just won't watch the last 3 episodes. I'll just wait. I don't want things to end. Like I've done that I did that with Gilmore Girls as well. I was right towards the end and I just didn't finish it. And I purposefully haven't watched the follow-on Gilmore Girls bit, because I just don't want it to end. And I felt a bit like that with this one. I didn't want it to end, so I stopped working on it. That's weird, isn't that weird? I genuinely think I'm going to stitch this one again. I loved it, start to finish. Start to not finish. I absolutely loved it. Anyway, let me show you. It's this one. So this came in 6 parts. So this was the first part, second part, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And you won't see him on my one, not because I haven't finished him yet, but actually because I'm afraid I stitched him out. It was this green monster, and for some reason, I don't know why, I think it was his ear. I don't know why, I just didn't want to see him in my version, and I'm so sorry, but I purposefully have kind of recharted. It's only a tiny bit on the book to rechart his hand, and over here on the candlestick, and at the moment I haven't done this bit, so I don't even know if what I've done along here will even work with this, so I'm gonna have to deal with that later. But at the moment, I'll show you where I am. But yeah, this is the piece. It's absolutely brilliant. I love it. Morty from Mad Morty is also stitching this one. And I think enjoying it as well. One last thing, on the pattern, I don't know if you can actually see here or if it's on the pattern as opposed to the model. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's on here, but on the actual pattern, there appears to be backstitch all the way around every single part of these candlesticks, which kind of softens some of these kind of candlestick sections. But the backstitch colour is in black against the black stitches on the pattern, so it's really hard to see. But there is a Lakeside Needlecraft Sal Facebook group which I'm in, and yeah, we were having a bit of a discussion on there about it, and it does appear to be there. So I might do it afterwards because it will prolong how much and how long I stitch on this one, so that's not a bad thing. So I'll show you my progress now. So this is where I am so far. Oh, I love it! Oh, I just absolutely love it. Oh, I've done less on here than I thought I'd done, which is good because then I've got more to stitch. So I started this one and I did the back stitch on the candle straight away. I moved down to here and oh, he's so cute. The frog, the spell book. I backstitched all the candles. This one. And then this is where you can see I haven't done the green monster. Sorry, my cupboard. And then yeah, the purple candles are stitched and backstitched. And then down here I've still got quite a lot to do. But yeah, this is where I am so far. I just love it. I knew as soon as I got this one back out I wanted to start on it. This is on 36 count pumpkin. Again, this fabric is from Lakeside Needlecraft and is specific to this piece. That's Halloween candlesticks. WIP number 6 is Dracula's Confession. Just going to shut my cupboard door. Dracula's Confession. This is by Lindy Stitches. This is the pattern. Their pattern actually comes with both ways. So I've decided to stitch this one at the top, which is the vertical section, vertical pattern, and then the horizontal one is also available. And I started this one as a birthday start for Sewing Sam. Hi Sam. Sam's doing this one and I chose this one, so it was really cool to both start and see different things. Sam's gone quite far along now, so do check out her channel just to see, or her Instagram to see where she is with this one. But yeah, I'm stitching this one on 36 count murky. It might be 40 count murky, I can't remember. And I apologise in advance, this is probably the smallest start I've ever done. This was because I knew I had to start it on the day, and I just, time got away with me as it does, and this is what I have so far. Let me just see if I can even work out what part that is. Obviously it's a leaf. Hang on, I've got the whole pattern upside down right there. Yeah, that's I don't know, but the fabric is great, and it was very hard to come by, and I love it, and I think it's going to look amazing once I've stitched more up. This is another one that I've wanted to stitch for so long, and it took me months to get all the bits and pieces from everywhere, and I just absolutely loved it. So I just again need to get on with it, and I can't wait to stitch this one again. WIP number 7 is Quaker Pumpkins by Hello from Liz Mathews. This is the design. There is a Sal for this one. Do check out Morgan from Honeybee Stitches channel and Instagram. She's much further along than I am, and I think there's a couple of people, including Morgan, that's changing this wording slightly to relate more to autumn or harvest. Oh, I can't remember, I'm so sorry. I'll just show you where I am. This was my Christmas Eve start and I absolutely loved it. As soon as I started stitching it, this is on, yeah, this one's on 40 count linen and I just loved it. I just bashed through it so quickly. I stitched this one in hand, I think. Yeah, because I've pinned this side and that side, so I only have a little bit to deal with. These are the flosses. Whee, there we go. Tied them in a knot for no good reason at this point, but I've tied them up for whatever. Oh, I think I needed to fit them in a really small bag. But yeah, there's some specialty flosses there. And I'm using all the cord for, and it's just beautiful. Can't wait to get back to this one as well as all the others. Okay. WIP number 8 is A Year in the Woods. This is a series by Cottage Garden Samplings. These are coming to me via an auto ship. There's a couple of shops that were selling these as an auto ship. So you signed up for the full year and every month they sent you the pattern, and then you could go off and buy your fabric and buy your floss separately. 4 have been released so far. I think the 5th one has just been shown to us. Yeah, if you search A Year in the Woods on Instagram or even here on YouTube, you'll find this one. I'll just show you the first 3 patterns of this one so far. We've got the fox, which is the one I've started with. This was number 1. Oh, my cat's in the cupboard again. Out, out, out. She doesn't do listening to me. Number 2 was the swans. Sorry for the light reflection. That is cool. And number 3 was the jackrabbit. Look at his face. Cool. Can't remember number 4, I'm so sorry, and number 5 has just been released. But yeah, I'm currently now working on the on the fox. I'm stitching this one on 36 count Mirage by Picture This Plus. The fabrics for these were, the called for fabrics for these were released early on in the series, and because of that then they all just became really really difficult to find. So I was lucky with Mirage, and thanks to Emma we have the fabric for the second one now, so very, very exciting. Yet again, I can't wait to get back to this one, but this is where I am so far. I think he's lovely. This looks a bit weird here. This is where I put in some of the burnt orange. The burnt orange goes from quite a bright kind of orange here to quite a light orange, and I stitched this bit and it was all this light colour, so you couldn't really see it very well. It was pretty much the same as this orange colour. So I'm going to go away and just find darker bits of the thread and just stitch with that, but I've unstitched this one, this bit. Plenty more to do, but I think it looks great. WIP number 9 is Disturbed Women. This is a pattern by Lucy Bean. It's right in front of me. I don't know why I'm hesitating. It's this one. Called for fabric in this pattern. I can't remember what it is now. But they didn't actually ship to the UK. So I couldn't find the fabric that looked exactly like this picture. There was a couple very, very close, but I couldn't find it. The Primitive Hair had some fabrics that I thought might work, and so I found this one. This is Ancient Stones, and this is my start. Yeah, quite a bit left to do. This is 30 count. I believe the cord 4 is smaller, but this one seemed to work really well. And I'm going to go for it, and I think it's going to look great. It's being quite washed out in this light, so apologies, but it is kind of a bit grubby and a bit dingy, and it does look like a stone wall, so it is, I think it's going to look great once it's done. Yeah, it is much, much darker in real life. Here's the floss for this one, and bit of a delay there. There's a bit of Gentle Art and Weeks. This one only uses 2 colours, so one's called Cucumber and the other is called Purple Haze, and there's quite a lot of good variation on here. variegation on here, so I think it's going to look great once it's done. I did contact the designer behind Lucy Beam before stitching, and I just was interested in kind of a little bit of information about this one. I obviously can't show you, but within the pattern there is some information that comes with the design, and so my plan, again the word plan, is that when I finish this and get it framed, I'm going to take the 2 pieces of paper with the information that kind of goes alongside this pattern and stick it to the back of the frame, and then I don't know what to do with it then, cover it with something so that it's safe, or maybe do a two-sided glass frame. I don't know, it might be too heavy. Anyway, I'm going to ask my framer to help, because I want in the future, if somebody else ends up having this piece and it's not me, I'd like them to be able to turn around and see the history or see the bit of information that comes with the pattern. If any of you have this pattern, you'll know what I'm talking about. Obviously I can't show you, but yeah, it's really just fascinating and jaw-dropping, some of it. So yeah, thank you to the designer for adding extra bits in. I think it's really important to see where we are, where we've been. Next up is Dinosaur Forest. This is WIP number 10. This is a kit pattern, kit from Owl Forest Embroidery. This is what it will look like in the end. Full of dinosaurs. I absolutely love it. I think they were amazing, and my favourite one, which I haven't stitched yet, oh, if I can find him. Wait, oh yeah, there he is. Look, look, look. Oh, let's see if I can get him in. Look, he's hatching from an egg and everything. Oh, I just love it. I just love it. So I started this one as part of a sal with Emma at Stitching, and we did this for Dinosaur December. We had the Dinosaur December hashtag, which was picked up by quite a few people, so it was really cool. I had full plans to do a lot more dinosaur related stitching in December. However, I just was sort of getting through my exam, and then I also hurt my foot. Long story, boring. But yeah, I plan to do Dinosaur December forever now, because it was brilliant, and I haven't stitched on this one since December. I'm hoping I can stitch on it before December 2022. And this is where I am so far. Isn't it cool? I got quite far with this one. I started in the middle, I think here is the middle, and then realised I just need to get to the top left. It's just who I am. So I worked my way into top left, and then I was planning on, I think I was going to go across the top, or maybe down, I don't know, I can't remember where I was going. But yeah, this is on 32 count, the fabric that is with the Owl Forest Embroidery kit. Some of these are quite tricky because it's variegated floss, so you have to do one stitch at a time, and then it's tricky when you're sort of working your way along somewhere to kind of come back. So I don't know, I'm just not that experienced in working with those sorts of threads yet, but I will be by the end of this. Yeah, I think it's so cool, I love it. So Dinosaur December, do use the hashtag Dinosaur December and we'll be able to see your stitching. Just a note about this one as well, you do get the floss in the kit, and they also provide you with the bobbins, they're cardboard bobbins. Ugh, there you go, getting rid of my face. Cardboard bobbins with the symbol on it as well, and I've put them in one of these Bagzplus kind of bobbin holders, and they are it's just perfect. It's absolutely perfect for this. There is yeah, on the Bagzplus, I think this was from Etsy, they have bigger ones, smaller ones, ones that fold in half, ones that hold a lot more of these, but I went for this one. I just wanted one that wasn't massive but not too small, and this kind of filled everything that I needed to do, really. This is the back of this one, Christmas, hence the Dinosaur December. That's the needle minder which I put inside this kind of plastic section. So yeah, I can really recommend Bagzplus, and they do have many others. I'll put the name, the spelling of it down in the description below. WIP number 11 is the Snail House Grape. This is the 4th snail house that I'm stitching, again from Owl Forest Embroidery. They provide kits. Emma and I, again, are stitching on these on Saturdays, so we've got the hashtag Snail House Saturday. Occasionally, I said in my last Flosstube I'd push it to Snail House Sunday, and more often than not Snail Maison Monday, because I'm pretty rubbish at stitching on it on Saturdays. I can't remember where I was then because my phone went, but this is what the Grape kit looks like, and there it is. This comes again with the fabric, the floss, needle minder, needle, and I mentioned on my last Flosstube there's a QR code at the bottom, and you can use that and upload this to Cross Stitch Saga, which is similar to Pattern Keeper, but for, I think, Android only, I can't remember. There's an app, and yeah, so there is some white detail in here, and that's the only bit I've done so far. This is 32 count fabric, and yeah, lots to do. I am going to pick this one up again. I've just been really rubbish, and I've been sorting out my craft room and my office and stuff, and doing all the stuff that I've been putting off for about 3 years in my house. So I have been spending the whole day doing that, and then because I've got to get my Adrift stitches in, I've been just really lax with this. So I'm going to start again. Well, not start it again, but I'm going to pick this one up again ASAP. WIP number 12 is what I'm calling Mugshot Cat. The name of it is much longer, and let's see if I can read it backwards. I don't think I'll be able to read it backwards. This is a kit by Gecko Rouge, designer Tanya Bond. Oh, I just love it. The real name of this one is, and I can't read it backwards after all, the real name of this one is Mugshot of a Cat Felon Arrested While Attempting a New York Bank Heist. I am thinking at the end of this one to maybe just add in a tiny couple of eyelashes, which will match my cat's eyelashes. She's got excellent eyelashes, and I think that it might make it look a little bit more like her. But this one pretty much just reminds me of my cat. This was a birthday start for Kelly from Animal Instinct and Animal Stitches. Hi Kelly. Kelly has finished this one, so if you want to see the finished piece, check out her Flosstubes and also her Instagram. This cat just looks amazing. I'm stitching this one on 18 count Ada with the kit floss, which I'll show you in a second. I'm at 4% in about 3 days. I got to 4%, which I think is quite good. Not in any way ironed, apologies, it's just not something I do. So I started here, right here is the nose, and then I yet again remind myself I'm a top left starter stitcher. It's where I want to be in life. So I've literally just stitched my way all the way up. And what I did was I just made sure that there was always an adjoining stitch all the way up. I didn't sort of jump to there and just hope that I counted right. I don't trust myself. I'm pretty good with this stuff, but it's going to be the one where you think you're fine and you're not. It's just going to happen. So I've made sure that there is an adjoining stitch all the way along here, and then yeah, I've started in that section. So, oh, and even the needle minder, look at the face. Oh my god, I love it. I just love it. Oh, I want to do it now. Oh dear. And I've done some other unboxings on my channel so far with Gecko Rouge kits. They send you all the floss in these kind of cards, and they don't give you the DMC numbers. They number everything from 1 to however many colours there are in the kit with all the symbols. The floss comes like this, but looped at the end, and instead of having to take everything off, constantly kind of take a bit of thread off that you need, put it back on, I just cut all the loops at the end. This isn't my idea. I've seen this on Leah's channel. I'll pop her Flosstube below. You just cut the loops at the bottom, and then what I tend to do is plait or braid these sections, and it makes it really easy. And then when you need a particular colour, this is really hard doing it backwards, you just sort of pull this one across. You take one strand from here, and so long as you've cut the end, all you need to do is just take one strand and you just pull it, and then you just get the one strand. So you don't need to take this whole thing off every time and rethread it through the hole. Just literally take one strand off here and pull, but make sure you've cut all the loops, otherwise it's really, really messy and horrible and I hate it. But what I also do is, so I remind myself where I am, is I always just put it down next to me with this one looped over. So it's good that the loop is on the bottom, because you need to get to the back of it to take this strand off. So this one is always over here, so I know that I'm using this colour. It's just a good reminding thing, because sometimes as well on Pattern Keeper I will switch to the next symbol and I'll forget which symbol I was on, and it just gets a bit confusing. So once I've finished using that piece, I then just put it back. But it could, yeah, it just comes in a booklet. I've still got the ribbon attached. Some people take this off, some people just use them loose. I like to keep them here, and then I will literally take the first page and flip it round and get on with the next page, like a little book really. But yeah, so that's how the threads come, and yeah, can't wait to get back to this one. WIP number 13 is called Love by Danny Lizeth. This is also a Gecko Rouge kit. I call this one Cat's Love, and in the same way I call the last one Mugshot Cat. It's just easier for me to remember. Gecko Rouge do this one as a kit, and I chose to do this one on 18 count Ada. This, I just love it. I just love it. I just love it. And I think I said before, it reminds me of me and my mum, and also then me and my cat. Obviously my mum and I are not cats. So this one is on 18 count Ada. It's a lot bigger than I thought it was going to be. It's on 18 count, so it's going to be, you know, not tiny anyway, but yeah, it's really, really big. So I'm currently at 27%, and this is the small cat. Like, this is the kitten. I started this one in the middle because all of this background you don't stitch, so I knew I'd find it hard to find the top left section. I mean, I could have done it, but I just chose to start in the middle. That's exactly where the noses start. But then I did decide to move my way to the most top left part, and I think this is the biggest amount of block stitching in the whole piece. It is pretty much confetti. Realistically, you do about 8 to 10 stitches on one colour, and then it's like too far to travel to the next. I mean, yeah, it looks like kind of block colours. It's not. But yeah, I worked my way across to the most top left position, and then I've just stitched everything, and then I intend to just kind of, I've gone right down to the bottom, I think, have I? Yeah. So now I intend to just kind of do sections as I go down like this. I'm probably realistically not going to pick this one up till next year. My plan is to finish my Adrift Mermaid Heaven and Earth design one by the end of this year, and then move on to all my other sort of big full coverage ones. I class this as full coverage even though there's no background, because frankly the amount of confetti weighs that up. So yeah, that's the Cat's Love piece. This is one of the ones I've done an unboxing for. There's 91 colours in this one. I mean, they are awesome. They are just absolutely awesome. So I've seen some people say that they prefer really long strands, and I prefer really long strands. So with Adrift, it's probably like 4 times this length. My strands are really, really long. But with this piece for Gecko Rouge, there is so much confetti in this piece that you only need this. And I do use 2 strands using a loop start, but you only need this because you very rarely, frankly, get to the end of this. You end up putting some of it back on. That's why on this one there's so many short bits, because you just don't use a whole length if there's so much confetti. But it's going to look, I mean, already it looks absolutely incredible. So I know it's going to look incredible when I get to it. The colours in here, there's just all of it, just every colour. Well, 91 colours. WIP number 14 is Victorian Charm by Dimensions. It is this one. This one comes as a kit, and the Ada that comes with it is 18 count navy. You don't actually stitch this kind of background section here. These I think are stitches or French knots, I'm not sure. There's blends in here, half stitch, full crosses, shed load of back stitch as you can see, and a cat. So, I just love it. I believe Lauren from Flossabilities has finished this one, and there's a number of people that started. I started this for Emma's birthday in August, so Emma and I both started this one together. There's quite a few people working on this one. I know I've forgotten some people and I apologise. I can't remember, we did use a hashtag. This is where I am so far. I'm currently at 2%. Ha ha ha. Bring this one in. I love it though. There's the bit of the half stitch. Some of the background is half stitch. And then right next to full cross. The fabric's showing quite bright there because of my light, but it's pretty dark Canadiada. And what I found really helpful was I just got a piece of white paper, which I put underneath or on my lap when I was stitching, and it just meant that you can see through the holes a little bit better. Otherwise, I find it quite difficult to stitch with. If you put something light behind it, it just really helps you being able to see the holes a little bit better. WIP number 15 is a Mill Hill kit. This is Cappuccino. This is the first, is it the first? I think this is the first one I've ever done. And for those of you who aren't familiar, it's got stitches and it's also got beading, lots of beads throughout the design. And as if by magic, this is where I am. Ta-da! You can sort of make it out. So I'm just doing the stitching at first. And again, I started in the middle because I'm not familiar with these Mill Hill ones. It's on this kind of perforated paper, and I didn't want to risk it and just start at the top. I mean, I could obviously have counted, that's the whole point of some of the stuff that we do, but I decided to start in the middle instead, and then I've done the same thing, work to the top left. I'm fine with that, that's okay. And yeah, so I've only done the stitching so far. Yeah, I quite like working on the really small thing. These are the flosses that come with it. I have put them on a thread organizer. It's really lovely colours in here. Love it, love it. The beads are here. Quite a lot of those as well. I haven't done beading literally for about 25 years. 23, 22 years, can't remember, definitely 20 years. So I can't remember how to do beading, but I know there's plenty of tutorials that I'm just going to check out. But if any of you do have any tutorials that you do recommend, please let me know. I know Teresa Little Stitch has got one, which I've watched before, and obviously I can't remember any of it now. But yeah, if you do have any, or if you have any, if you've done some tutorials as well, please point me in your direction because I would love to see them. And then one thing I bought was, this originally had, I crochet as well, this originally had stitch markers in it, but it's just this really small little pot for me to put the beads in. And I know as well that you can buy the kind of almost like a business card holder, which is tacky on the inside that you can keep your beads in. Or some people put their beads in a bowl and then you just scoop them out with a needle. I don't know, I'm going to cross this beading bridge when I get to it. WIP number 16 is Christmas Magic. This is a this was a stitch along in 2021. This was by Little Dove Designs. It was, oh, it's just so cute. Oh, I wish I'd got further in it now. It got released and the first section of the frame was released, which I stitched on its own, so I've done that bit, and then I'll show you where I am in a second. But yeah, this one is yeah, I think I got to the end of part 2. The whole thing is released now, as you can see, because I'm showing it to you, but the whole thing is released and I believe you can buy the whole pattern. This is on 32 count even weave. And this is where I am so far. So yeah, you can see the frame there. I completed all the way around for parts 1 and 2, and then I've stitched parts 1 and 2. Loving the polka dot fabric. I just think it's great. And yeah, love. Had this one all been released on the same at the same time, I honestly think I probably would have stitched the whole thing and just kept going. Some things I like being in a sal with bits per month, and then some things I just want to do the whole thing in. For this one, you get the floss with the kit on a card, and really long lengths. Terribly messy, but absolutely fine. And again, this is the same trick. Just take one strand and you don't have to worry about taking it all off, but make sure there's no loops on the end. WIP number 17 is Lucky Nutcracker. This was a stitch along last year in 2021 by Caterpillar Cross Stitch. This one was released in 5 or 6 parts. I can't remember, sorry. This is the picture of the whole thing now because the stitch along's finished. And I can't remember where I got to. This is where I got to. So I completed the tree and I've got the top half of the Nutcracker. So this one, the first part was the tree, and on paper, literally, looks fine. But for me, when I came to stitch it, that tree is massive, and I think that that has possibly sown the not a fan of Christmas tree seed. So once I did the tree, I really didn't want to stitch on it as much, which is why I've only got as far as I've got. However, I saw this one stitched, I can't remember who it was, but they finished this one as a pillow, and you know when you see something and you think that's exactly what I want to do, and that inspired me immediately to get it back out. So I did then more work on the Nutcracker. I don't know if I'll get to this one now until sort of I start Christmas stitching later on in the year, but now I know how I want to finish it, I will definitely pick this one up again. WIP number 18 is Spooky Halloween. This is another Lakeside Needlecraft stitch along. I think it was a stitch along. It's by Doreen Jones, and it's in a similar vein to the Halloween Candlesticks. And so as soon as I realised how much I loved stitching on the Halloween Candlesticks, I went straight onto the Lakeside Needlecraft website and looked at patterns and kits that looked kind of similar. And I've also bought the same fabric, so it's the 36 count orange pumpkin fabric that you can buy from Lakeside. And I think it might be the combination of the fabric, the count, the fact that it's kind of Halloween-y, just all of it, I just love it. So yeah, I bought this one and I made a start on this one as well because I just couldn't wait. This is Spooky Halloween. I think this one was a stitch along, and they've put in 2017 up there, which obviously I'm going to change to the year, whatever year I finish it. I've learnt my lesson from last time, 2017 there. This uses 3 colours. Do I know what colours they are? Yeah, it's actually, they actually call for some, for DMC. Oh no, 310. Oh, I can't remember now. This one is 4 colours. So there's the black and the white, and then the yellow and the green. The yellow and the green are charted as Weeks Dye Works, and then they also give you the DMC conversion. And they were subbed out, but they're very bright and they're perfect. So I've got these 2 Weeks Dye Works colours, which have some variegation in them, which is really, yeah, they're really cool and they're going to be perfect. I haven't got massively far on this one, but this is where I am so far. Strangely, I didn't mind the border of this one, haha. You could go for some glow in the dark for some of these motifs. I think that'd be quite cool. And I didn't realise I was stitching a bat until I got to his second wing. Genius that I am. I think it's awesome, and the needle minder comes with the kit as well. So I just wanted to show you as well in terms of thread drops how I'm doing this. So this is for, these ones already come on the week. Start again. These already come on the almost like a floss drop, and then what I'm doing is when I've taken off one strand, so I haven't cut the ends of these, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to cause myself a bit of a problem later on when I try and take off a strand and forget. I honestly forgot I'd done that. Anyway, I've taken off a bit there, quite a long strand, and then I haven't used it all, so then I've gone back through the hole on one of the other sides, and that's the bit that's left that's ready to use. So I'm kind of doing three bits on here, so it doesn't, I just use them as they are. And also then the kit came with the Lakeside Needlecraft card, and I literally just got a hole punch, and I've put white on this side with this little bit, oh, can't do it backwards, little bit of spare thread ready next time, and I've put 310, that's this side, and then any spare bits will go in here. So I know on some of the pieces I've shown you, I've got some thread organisers that I've bought from Amazon. Was it the Mill Hill one? Yeah, that I bought from Amazon. But realistically, you just need a bit of card and a hole punch, and that is a thread drop. So you don't need anything fancy, you don't need anything expensive. You can just do this, and that's what I've done. So yeah, I'm using the Weeks Dye Works tags that they already come on, and then I'm just using the card that came with the kit, and you can just use any bit of cardboard with a hole punch, and you've got yourself a thread drop. And I thought it would be quite good to use one piece of card for two. WIP number 19. I'm just going to say I think I've got about 25, so we're getting there. WIP number 19 is Robin by Lorna Lane. This is a Gecko Rouge kit. I'm stitching this one on 25 count 1/1. This is the first time I've used 25 count 1/1. I've used 25 count tent stitch, so using two strands but only the one leg of the cross. This is 25 count using one strand full cross, and it is tiny. I quite enjoy it. Do I? No. I enjoy the effect. I like how it looks. But I think also it's a combination with the fact that this one's pretty confetti heavy. So confetti is where there's just an awful lot of different colours in a really small section. So you're constantly having to sort of start and finish lots of tails of your floss, and it gets quite thick and quite bulky. But it's going to look brilliant. Anyway, I digress. This is Robin. I love how it dips out of the frame. I really like that effect. This is where I am. You can see, I don't know if you watched my last Flosstube, you would have seen I've taken the hoop out of something, but I've still left it pinned, which is how I pin it around the hoop. It seems to be a bit of a thing. But this is where I am so far. This is 27% so far. I just the expression that Gecko managed to get with their characters, they translate so well from the photos, from the art. I think it's just incredible. So yeah, this is so far. Let me see how close I can get you in. That is 25 count 1/1. You can see there some of my pin stitches. You can see those little, just here. I do a pin stitch to end, I think. I don't think I'd do it to I think if I was to start on this now, I've got enough to run my thread underneath. This is on pre-gridded fabric. I haven't done it yet, but I've heard that if you wash this one afterwards, all of those lines come out. I'm very confident that will happen. I don't know anyone that has had issues with this. And yeah, this is the bit where it's really, really bulky. I'll show you the back in a second. But yeah, so this is the 25 count. I mean, look, there's so many colours. You don't even see how many colours are in this. You just, oh, it's just amazing. Anyway, I'll show you the back now. I'm wondering if I'm going to regret this. This is the back of the stuff, and it's this bit in particular that's just really, really bulky. There's so many colours. There's just nowhere to sort of start and end your threads, and because there's no background, because there's no stitched background, you can only really end your threads in that section. So it's pretty bulky, but it's fine. I mean, you just get on with it and just keep going. But yeah, I think it's great. So that's my back. It's a little bit of travelling, I think, between things, maybe 1 or 2 threads, but I am trying to keep it, like on here, that's quite thick. I'm just trying to keep it contained because I don't want to see it through the fabric once it's finished. But yes, this is the Robin, and he is 27%. He is awesome. And again, the floss comes in these little kind of floss booklets. just some incredible colours. And again, I've cut the ends, and I haven't braided or plaited any of these, I don't know why. But yeah, that's that one. WIP number 20 is 3 Spheres 2 by Escher, and this is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs, which we call HAED, H-A-E-D, Heaven and Earth Designs. So this is, oh, I just love it. There's 13 colours in this one. It's not a small piece, 400 by 219. This is all 310, and it is massive. And there's a lot of Crynic in here in order to get the kind of the sparkles, which is fine. If you see my last Flosstube, I've made friends with Crynic now. The key for me, do Crynic first, then fill in with the DMC afterwards, have shorter, reasonably short lengths, and use a bit of Thread Magic or Thread Heaven or some sort of thread conditioner. I'm alright with it now, and I will always do it first. So this is this one. It's another one that's going to actually be quite big. This is where I am so far. So I feel like in this piece there's like 6 balls because you have the reflections. So I appreciate I haven't even really finished one. I've still got an awful lot to do. I can't hold on to the fabric and the card at the same time. This is where I've got to. So there's a bit of sparkle in that top section there, which I hope you can see. Whoop. I stopped at this point because I think the majority of this is Crynic. And as much as I say we've made friends, I mean we're not that good friends. So I stopped working on it because I just couldn't cope with it. But now I think I've got a technique and I think I'm all right with it. So when I finally get back to this one, it'll be fine. Because there's 13 colours, I was a bit worried that it looks quite clunky between. There's not that huge sort of gradient in colours between the sections, and especially this. Oops, sorry. Especially this background, I thought it looked a bit stark between the 2 colours, and the gradient here. I wasn't sure about it at first, but actually when you pull it back and when you have all the other bits that are going to come on here, I mean you just won't see that. It's just going to be so shiny and so beautiful. And massive. But yeah, as you can see, this is where I am. I've done this one, majority of this one, and then just pretty much just Crynic for that section. And I don't know if you can you see it? You can't really see it yet. The full effect isn't out, but I think this is actually reflecting like the ceiling rose. Can you see a kind of circle within it? Kind of here. And so yeah, I'm hoping that once a bit more Crynic and more stuff's come in, you'll be able to see that a little bit better. But even if not, with 13 colours, it's gonna look great anyway. So that's where I am with my 3 Spheres 2. WIP number 21 is Astronaut. This is by Unconventional X Stitch. This is honestly one of my favourite things. Oh, I just love it so much. I'm stitching this one on 18 count black Ada. I asked Jodie from Unconventional X Stitch, Unconventional Cross Stitch. This is the website. Unconventional X Stitch. And there as well. I asked the designer at the beginning whether she thought I should stitch the whole thing on white and then stitch the dark, all of this, because then this white would stay really bright, or whether I should stitch the whole thing on dark fabric and stitch this, which I thought maybe the dark fabric might show through. Jodie's advice was excellent. We had a chat about it ages ago, and we kind of agreed that black Ada would be better. The darker Ada was just the best thing. And also at the time I thought, oh, I don't know if I want to stitch the background. There's obviously going to be a lot of what I thought would be 310. So I'll show you where I am. So this is where I am so far, and I'm really glad actually, because this is showing up a lot. I started in the middle. Why did I start in the middle? Again, it was because I didn't know if I was going to stitch the background. So I started in the middle, did this section, and then went up. And I'm going to show you the picture again. What I want to do is this bit last. This looks like a really, really just bright and interesting bit to stitch. And so I wanted to start in the middle. And because I wasn't 100% sure if I was going to do the background, I just decided yet again, well, I wanted to come top left, but I don't want to do this bit till last. So I've kind of just made my way up. And I'm going to stitch this bit, and then down to here, and then down to here, and then hopefully work my way up in the background. Hopefully it will join up with this bit, and then I'm going to leave this bit till last. I mean, that's the plan, and we know I like a good plan. And so imagine my surprise when I realised the majority of the background is not 310. It's a really dark blue. This is showing up very bright on camera due to the light that I've got shining on it. It's actually it's much, yeah, I mean, it is blue, but it is much, much darker than that. But it is interspersed with the 310. So I think it's great. It's, again, 18 count, so it is going to be quite big. Sorry, I wobbled the camera again. I love it. I think it's really, really cool. Stitching on a dark fabric, I think if you've done it, then you know. No amount of railroading your stitches, which is a technique to try and get them to lie flat, is really gonna help when you stitch light stuff on a dark fabric. It just is. Oh, sorry, it just is what it is, but it should be fine. So that's the plan anyway, to work my way all the way around and then eventually get to the visor section. I do love this one. Where am I? Yeah, I'm at 27% of this one. I went through a stage last year of just getting all my kind of big full coverages to 27%, or the really big full coverages to 5%, and then gradually worked up to 27%. So I've got quite a few pieces at 27%. This one though is a much, much smaller piece in terms of stitch count. So this one honestly wouldn't take very long to do if I just set my mind to it. WIP number 22 is B. This is by Lorna Lane. I've got a bit of a Lorna Lane obsession. And this is charted by Gecko Rouge, and the kit comes from Gecko Rouge as well. This is B. I'm stitching this one on 18 count Ada. This was inspired by Kelly from Animal Instinct Animal Stitches, and also Morgan Honeybee Stitcher. They both stitched this one. This is one of the first main geckos that I saw anyone stitch on Flosstube, and was just immediately obsessed and bought all the things. Quite a few of them by Lorna Lane. I've decided to stitch this one on 18 count. So I started this one as a birthday start for Kelly in 2021. So I now have 2 unfinished birthday starts for Kelly, but it's all about being a supportive friend, right? This is where I am so far. I'm currently at 3%, and I think that's quite a lot of stitching for 3%. This is big. This is much bigger than I thought it was going to be. The colours are fantastic. I don't have the threads with me. I can't remember if I've done an unboxing on this one. But yeah, stitching on 18 count. Just love it. Absolutely love it. Can't wait to get back to it. Do you like my little Jaws needle minder? Oh my god, look at his face. WIP number 23 is 12 Days of Stitchmas. This is a caterpillar cross stitch design. This one I bought as a kit. It is this one. Hang on, I'm going to shut the cupboard door. There we go. It's this one. This particular song in itself is kind of quite a funny thing with me and my family. Mum and I had some fun times remembering this one and trying to sing it at the same time, and we can't. So this, I absolutely loved it. So far I am at this stage. 5 golden hand. This is, what is this on? This is on 16 count Ada that came with the kit, and it's only 2 colours. And I realise if I do this, when I carry on with this one, I will probably do the wording first. Would be much easier to stitch beforehand. It's quite hard now to sort of fill in the gaps, so I'll stitch that first. And also I've decided for my own kind of rule of thumb to stitch the light colours first, so that the thread on the back is closer to the fabric, and then if you have to stitch over it with a darker fabric, with a darker thread, you are less likely to see it. That's my thought process. But yeah, that's where I am so far. WIP number 24 is the Noel Sampler by Satsuma Street. This was a 4-part stitch along in 2021, and if I'm honest, this might be a UFO. I'm not sure. I love it. I love what it looks like, which is this. And so this, for instance, was part 1 and part 2, etc. I love how it looks, and I love how it looks stitched up. But there's something about it that when I stitch on it, it's like you have to do so much to get so little done. Hours just to get a small bit done. I don't know why, because I can work on these these Heaven and Earth designs and all these big pieces, and they take forever. But for some reason, this I just find really hard. I managed to get quite a lot done of part 1. Yet again, I've done this hoop no hoop thing. I managed to get quite a lot done. This is 32 count. This is 32 count. And there's quite a lot of colour changes just for these pieces. I think it looks amazing. I love how it looks, but just stitching on it just takes ages. And I don't know if it's a combination of the fabric and the colour change. I don't know what it is, but I just found it really hard. But I think it's going to be amazing when it's done. But I don't know if I'll get to this one. But I do love it. Now I've seen it. Damn it. WIP number 25 is a piece that I started. I might have started it in university. This literally could be 20 years old. It could be 15 years old. I honestly can't remember. I honestly can't remember when I got this one. I found the pattern at the weekend when I was clearing out some old moving boxes in what will hopefully be my craft room. And the pattern is on paper. There's no name on it. There's no name of the artist, name of the person who designed it, name of the person who charted it. There's absolutely nothing on there other than just the pattern. So if it ever came, I think I probably bought this on eBay a really long time ago, and when that was happening, there were very few. I don't even know if it's. I found the key. There was a key with it. There was a key with it, but there's no information about where this came from. So I don't know who designed this. If you recognise this, please do let me know. I don't know whether this pattern was ever officially licensed. I don't have that information because I don't know who it was from. I just have no idea. I'm stitching this one on the hardest, harshest linen you could possibly ever find. It's like what is unpleasant to even hold. Thank goodness I've nearly finished it. So I think there's maybe 8 or 13, 12 colours in this one. I honestly can't remember. I think it's more like 8 actually. Anyway, this is where I am so far. So I call this one robot faces. I've got a real thing about robots. No, they're not robots, but they could be robots. I just love the sentiment of it. I've covered up part of the design there. I'm just going to bring this one in. I don't even know what count this is. Oh, I don't even know what count this is. But as you can see, very few colours. I love the fact that they're kind of holding their faces, their masks together. There's a lot more yellow in it than you kind of think at first. Oh, we've got some tangled legs. and some feet, obviously. And this is the background. And I have not stitched yet the background. So all of this main bit is stitched, but the background stops here. So I need to stitch just above both of their heads, down this side on the right hand side, so it matches, meets up with this background. And then I realised there's like a mini row missing at the bottom. And I think the background is just 3865. So I can do that anytime. But yeah, this is my robot faces? I don't know. I absolutely love it. I wish I had more information about it. Again, it's one of those ones. If you saw my first Flosstube at all, then, or I think it was Flosstube number 7, but it was the first one where I was sort of in front of the camera, I showed some old finishes, and there was a couple of bits in there that I just don't have any information for anymore. I think that one will be actually really cool, framed and up on the wall, and obviously that one is that is officially my oldest WIP, and genuinely it's so old I don't know when I started it. So that's it everyone, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please do hit the thumbs up below, and also hit the subscribe button if you're not yet a subscriber and you want to see more. I'm hoping I can enable somebody in the same way that I'm enabled when I watch other people's WIP parades. Cross fingers. Please let me know if you're stitching as well, any of these projects. I'd love to see your progress. Thank you very much for watching, and see you at the next one. Bye!